What's up, guys? Tyler here with Secure Team. Today we've got multiple pieces of UFO footage, all of which are equally mysterious, but this first clip is straight up hair-raising. And by the end of this video, you can give me all of your thoughts below as always, but I'd like to start off with the most mysterious, which depicts what occurred on a Thursday night on October 13th, 2022, where this incredibly eerie, creepy, and overall mind-boggling UFO passed above Raytown, Missouri. And by the way, it would seem that Missouri is having a UFO flap, as if you remember in my most recent video, I featured footage of hundreds of high schoolers witnessing a mysterious UFO during a football game. And by the way, I was amazed to see that my most recent video, after its first 2 days of being uploaded, suddenly overnight went viral, going from around 250,000 views to almost 1 million, which is amazing because the algorithm seems to be looking kindly on the channel again, and it's been amazing watching how fast the video grew. I think it's at like 950k views now. It's really cool. So I appreciate you guys sharing my stuff and liking it and leaving comments. It definitely helps. So if you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. But back to this current footage, again over Missouri, already causing a firestorm of controversy, especially on Reddit, which is one of the places where it was posted, and as usual has left viewers with more questions than answers. And as you're seeing here, we have this doorbell security Xfinity camera that catches what looks to be this sort of ghost-like, semi-transparent, extraterrestrial-looking mothership, let's just be honest, silently gliding over and above a desolate street in the middle of the night before vanishing behind some trees. Now, when I first saw this video, I actually pretty much passed it off as likely a fake CGI hoax of some sort. But the more I've looked at it over the past 3 or 4 days and analyzed it on my own, the more I've come to believe that this may be one of those rare occasions where we are able to catch one of these mysterious, unnatural, otherworldly objects, and as it pertains to this clip, with some actual detail. But as always, I will leave it up to you guys. So, key things to note while analyzing this UFO footage. As you guys can see here, this object, and for the sake of argument, we will just call it an object or a craft. But the object clearly goes behind the trees, in the foreground and the background, which was one of the first things that I looked at to really kind of try to tell if this was CGI or not. And zoomed in, you guys can even tell after the object clearly passes behind the trees. It doesn't bleed over the top of the trees, which is a strong indicator of CGI, where they didn't mask the footage enough to where it passes behind, and so parts of it will actually, appear in front of the tree, and you see none of that here. And to the contrary, you can actually see some little spots of light and detail from the object actually passing through the leaves and the branches that make up the trees. And like I said, this can be very difficult for a CGI artist to do, especially with something like trees and bushes with a lot of little moving parts and openings and holes. Now, we can also note that through this enhanced and looped over version, that the UFO, once first appearing, it begins in the darkness and seems to be rejecting any sort of light coming from the street. However, at the midpoint where we see the object moving almost right above these bright lights coming from the street lamps below, you can easily notice that the bottom of this oddly shaped UFO becomes illuminated as it passes directly over the lights, like you would think a legitimate three-dimensional object would do in the footage. It becomes more illuminated right at the point where it's almost directly over top, and then begins to reflect less of the light below as it leaves that area and disappears behind the trees. We can also notice the strange object giving off what appears like a ghostly, transparent-like look on its outer shell. And I say outer shell because if you look, it almost appears that there is a shell or a bunch of smaller objects making up the entirety of the UFO, almost like an armadillo, where it has hundreds, perhaps thousands of these smaller separate scales or panels, each of which sort of move independent from one another, and it does look sort of semi-transparent, like you can kind of see through it, but that just may be, the lower grade recording from a doorbell camera and at night, which is obviously always going to degrade things. Now, lastly, I want to point out here, and as we speed the video up, it becomes almost immediately noticeable where this massive object appears to begin tilting on its axis as it moves from point A at the beginning to point B before going behind the trees, giving off the impression that whatever this thing is, it's a three-dimensional object. It's 3D, and clearly can be seen, especially when looped over at a higher speed with the contrast enhanced and color corrected. The thing is tilting and turning and changing its position ever so slightly as it moves on its course through the skies above. So here's what some have said about this footage, including other witnesses and regular or casual online observers. On the Reddit post about this clip, a witness from the area in Missouri commented on the raw footage saying, quote, "Here's mine and my wife's account of last night." So I'm guessing they are talking about the same night that this UFO appeared on this security camera. They go on to say, quote, "On this night, we knew that we saw something weird, but didn't think too much of it until my wife showed me this video this morning. And we're walking our son last night. And as we did, and were coming up the driveway and about to go inside for the night, he says, I saw it first floating over our house's flat roof and over the horizon. My brain tried so hard to convince myself that it was birds, because at first it floated in a sort of horseshoe flock shape that you kind of see in this new video, but what would be the head of the flock was not in the direction the objects were moving. There was also no sound at all. And it was cold last night, so no bugs were out making noise either. It was not nearly as high up as a plane would have been in our area, and my next thought was drones. I remember seeing videos of drone light shows, but this would have had to have been very elaborate because there was 50 to 100 objects, and there were no lights. The objects were solid gray with maybe some silverfish texture and were square in shape, but they didn't seem really shiny or illuminated at all. And if she hadn't seen it, I would have thought that I was insane. We still thought we were insane until we stumbled onto this new UFO video. So yeah, guys, tell me what you think. It's another video that makes you wonder what's happening over Missouri, but more to the point, what is happening across the world? Where do these things come from? Tell me what you think of this. Now, this next piece of UFO strangeness was emailed to me by a viewer with the description, UFO orbs streak across the road. What is this? No other info, please give your opinions. And so here is the clip where we have what appears to be a dash cam on, yet another sort of nighttime desolate road, and yet again where another mysterious UFO encounter occurs. Okay, guys, so, not much information on this, and that's, again, pretty standard when it comes to a lot of UFO clips uploaded to the web. A lot of people don't want their information out there, myself being one of them, but hey, all I care about is the footage, and so this kind of looks like one of the triangular-shaped possible TR-3B craft that we've seen, and I've featured so many times here on the channel. If this was a plane, because of just how low the UFO passes by, and, it almost looks as if it's kind of turning on its side, you know what I mean? Unlike a plane would do, more of like what a triangular object or a flying saucer would do as they spin. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. So a viewer sent this over. It was posted to Instagram, and yeah, anyone have any more info about this, send me an email or put it down in the comments. Now, lastly, here is another clip sent to me via email by a viewer, and it's a short clip, but I was emailed this, and the guy says, hey, I recorded what looked to be some sort of stationary object, a UFO of a decent size, sitting in the sky right in view of the moon. So this is nighttime cell phone video, and it happens quickly. What appears to be a large, solid object can be seen illuminated, but if not that, I guess you could say is revealed by the moon as it passes and the Earth rotates, or as the UFO passes by. Okay, we'll do some analysis here. Now, some of you may be thinking, well, this could probably just be a cloud or something like that. And it very well may be a cloud, but it looks really solid to be a cloud, and it looks like a singular object as opposed to all of the long groupings of clouds in the foreground and in the distance. This sort of looks like a lone object, reminiscent of the UFO from that new film Nope, which was an awesome film, I thought, where, again, as I've shown on my own channel, people have sent in images and video of strange-looking lone clouds. Some of them look like squares or perfect spheres. They just kind of sit in the sky and don't move.
Yeah, except it's like maybe something hiding in it. Huh. Of course, my camera battery's about to die. No, it's about to. And it's holding its box shape too. That is crazy looking. I mean, it's just stay in a box. Like it's I don't know, man. That is weird. Especially with the way the wind's whipping right now. It should be shredding it all to pieces. Like it's been shredding all these other clouds. That thing is just staying structured.
So could that be what we're seeing here? And UFOs, without a doubt, have been caught in video footage moving within cloud cover in order to hide themselves, is my guess, which I've seen countless times. So what are your thoughts on this after seeing the enhanced footage? You guys, as well as I, are seeing it just as the gentleman who recorded this. He said it looked like a solid object that could be something unnatural, Not everything these days is Starlink. In fact, I have a theory regarding Starlink, which is that the reason and the timing of its launch, despite the very well-known, researchable, and confirmed reports that it has done nothing but cost Elon Musk and SpaceX billions of dollars in losses, and the fact that most of these Starlink satellites are junk. They only have a lifespan of 2 to 3 years in space before they break apart and break down. Many of them break down the moment they are launched into space, and they really don't work that well. And I just thought it was strange, right around the time the Pentagon came out and the mainstream media sort of took over the UFO narrative, we suddenly find out that a virtually endless amount of these worthless Starlink satellites are being constantly launched into space, and Elon himself confirming, and the evidence and technology itself being proven to be basically junk and worthless and a total loss and waste of money. I think that these things are being sent up there launch after launch in order to clutter our skies, obfuscate what is truly up there in our skies and in space moving around, because they know that UFOs and extraterrestrials are a topic that is on fire. They know people are looking up at the skies recording and they can't control it. So what do? Well, they attempt to control it. How do you stop people from recording what's happening above them? You block out that which they are attempting to record and watch, and you clutter it up. But anyway, that's just a theory of mine. Tell me what you thought about today's clips. Really interesting stuff. I have a lot more. Welcome back to the tens of thousands of people who realized I'm back posting after my most recent video went viral. Much thanks to you guys. I appreciate you all. All of my social media links are down in the video description. If you like this video in particular or any other video, YouTube has a really cool new feature called Super Thanks, where just like you would in a live stream, you can now leave a one-time tip on any particular video you like and for whatever amount. And you can find the little icon right below this video near the like and the share button. It looks like a heart with a little dollar sign in there and allows you to tip the video as well as write a comment that will be highlighted in color down in the comments section where it will really stand out. And it's just a really cool way for people to support and, kind of tip specific videos that they really truly enjoyed. So regardless of that, if you would just share this on your social media, that alone helps me get my stuff out there. So stay tuned for more strange UFO and extraterrestrial leaks. The cover-up continues, and so this work here at Secure Team will also continue. Stay safe, guys.